Hey everyone, Timid Falconite is coming back at you with another episode of my Egg Cup Battle Report series. I won another one. um, so this match is going to be the Darkling Threshold match. This is round 4. Um, now, you haven't seen Darkling Threshold before. It's actually not been in Global League, at least for a while. I don't think there's a rule set for it for Global League. But it is also a very old map. And it's in the Hall of Fame too, because it's a very interesting map, just design-wise. Another thing that's interesting about it is it's got no comm towers, but I guess first thing, first thing to go over for this match is the gimmick, which is you either play Flak or a Jugger. Is like, that's funny thing, and that's literally the gimmick of the map. There are no comm towers in this map, so you can't really. It's not even going to matter comm tower wise. Like you can't use that to boost your low damage just out of a bad luck roll, basically. So it's going to be basically whoever is luck is overall better, Juggers or Flaks. And I picked Flak, and my opponent did as well. With no comm towers, I think Flak is generally going to be better because Jugger's luck is going to. It's the extra 5% for a lot of rolls is going to end up just getting to that range. Like a lot of rolls for Flak, sure he gets down like 30% or 32%, but he never goes past that, below that. But with the extra 5% low luck range on Jugger, that is something that happens quite frequently. So that's why if you're picking between Flak or Jugger, Flak is almost always going to be more consistent without any comm towers. This is what the map looks like. Because it's Flak v Jugger, but map analysis doesn't really matter. Especially since it's a mirror match, so there's that. Well, at least with the map analysis tab. Go over the actual map. You have a bunch of interesting mixed base decisions, right? So you have one isolated base at the top and bottom of the map, and then you have two base areas in the center next to the airports that are sort of we're right next to each other, and then we're also sort of down facing this way. So we're sort of, the design of this map is you sort of want to overwhelm this one base with these two bases into one airport. But the thing about it is that this base is actually close enough that if you rush for the airport early on, you can easily get like an anti-air out and it can threaten this entire area. Because the total funds on this map and the income on this map early on isn't actually high enough to warrant more than like a couple things. So you'll see a bit of just the build order. Another thing that's sort of okay on this map is artillery. You can put them around this mountain over here, and then they can bombard this center base as well, which is okay. The only thing about that is that like your opponent can always just build mechs and they can just cross the river and hit your artillery. So, well, I guess we'll go over damage calcs for that real quick because let's just do it with Andy. So Andy into mech on a base is going to do like 6 damage, meaning he'll probably be at 6 health after he heals up. So 6 health mech is going to do 3 to 4 to the artillery if he's standing like there or there, or if he's in the city, he's going to do like 3 damage. So, like, eventually, like by moving in with the artillery here to sort of try and base lock, if you don't have anything else to follow up with it, your opponent can just pop a mech and then just cross the river with it. So it's not really going to matter if you do that. But other than that, like this map is kind of simple, but it's also mixed base, so it's kind of not simple. But I think I've already gone over basically everything I wanted to cover. So this is a lot less complex than Hive Ones. I'll put it that way. So go ahead and get started with the actual replay. So I'm player 1 here, and starting out with some fairly basic infantry builds. Oh, also there's this city right next to your base here. The reason for that is to give player 2 a little bit of extra money, to give them a little bit of an advantage. But starting out with just building a bunch of infantry, not really trying to get anything too crazy going quite yet. So he's getting that. This is a very quick city for people to grab up, and then they have this infantry position to move in against this up here as well. He goes for an early artillery actually, and if you're going to build an artillery, I guess you can build it here, because you can move it down to here. But I honestly think that if you're going to build an early artillery in this map, you should probably build it from this base, because then it has the option of either moving in like this way, and threatening your opponent's infantry, which are basically guaranteed to be coming down this choke point here, and then just playing around the choke point here with like tanks and stuff. With an artillery, that's good as well. Or you can maneuver this way in the same amount of time that it could take you to maneuver down this way from here. But it decides to build it next to his HQ. In response, knowing that he spent all that money on the artillery there, and knowing that it's not going to have enough for a tank next turn, I go for an anti-air. Very early and aggressive anti-air. But the reason I did it is because it kind of deals with everything that I'm kind of worried about in this area. He's just got infantry, he's not going to have a tank out, and then I'm also trying to lock down his airport as well, so that he doesn't build any pesky air units. And because if he builds air units, he'll be able to overwhelm my base here pretty easily, if I don't have any support. So he actually doesn't kill here, and that's just for Flak experience. Like, I got a bad luck roll attacking into the airport, but he also didn't get like the best luck roll here. So I have my unit survives an extra day, I guess. Not that it's going to matter too much because it's only at 1 health, but it's an extra blocker. So I move in and actually just take out his infantry basically for free, and then I move here to get a little bit of extra health on my infantry, so it might be able to do something. Because a free health infantry is a free health of any unit really is infinitely more valuable than a 1 health unit of it, basically anything. Because especially with like vehicles or basically anything that can be attacked by like infantry can just get bopped. They're at 1 health, especially if you're playing in a match like this where you have extra luck. So he's got his airport up now. So far, we're basically even on income. As you can see, captures are the same. And the amount of stuff that we're going to capture next turn looks like it'll be the same as well. So I decided to do something about that a little bit. Well, I start with this. I'm actually going to take a look at how lucky I got here, because it's a mech into an infantry, but that is, yeah, that's 4. So that is on the lower side of the damage roll, but I only took 1 damage in response, so that's pretty good as well. So I guess pretty even luck, and then this was a very lucky blow, I think. This into this, yeah, that was lucky as well, very lucky. So I think let's just go normal mech into this. So it's on average it should do 4 health. Yeah, so it should do 4 into. So honestly, with just a normal Andy, this wouldn't normal luck. This actually wouldn't have killed, probably. So I did get pretty lucky there. That's interesting. Mainly on the infantry shot. But he's got the tank here, so falling back to this city because he can't really attack me with his tank from city, and then I'm backing up my anti-air with the tank as well. His artillery is kind of zoning me out of these properties, which is a bit annoying, but I can just go for these two up here instead. It's perfectly fine. And I go for the cap interrupt down here to slow down his income a little bit. That's part of why... Oh, I don't know. He's going to be up to... Still only be down like 1,000 gold so far, so... that's fine. He goes for the attack there, and he basically takes out my infantry here, but he's going to be basically... He's leaving his infantry open over here as well. And then he actually goes for the battle copter here, weirdly enough. Which is a bit of an interesting maneuver. He moves in his artillery here to try and zone up my anti-air. I didn't actually see this, but I would still make this move basically any day of the week, because this into this only gets me down to like 4 HP usually, maybe. And like a 6 health anti-air can still do a lot to battlecopters, so I'm not really worried about that at all. And I move in with the tank here as well, both to interrupt this cap and then to just start applying a bunch of pressure into this center area here as well. Normally this should be like more of his strong side pushing into here, but I'm actually pushing very effectively here, and then I'm just using infantry on the other side. It's a great effect as well. Taking out his infantry, just picking them off as they come in slowly, basically. And then getting a nice shot off it there as well. Opening up there, and that. I almost get the kill there, but like honestly it doesn't matter. Because it's only at 1 health, he's not going to be able to do much with that. You might be able to move it down here and help with the cap there. And then I'm also doing a tank in here to sort of guard my infantry down here, just in case, because he's sort of pivoting his tank down this way to sort of open up into my exposed infantry down here, so I'm guarding that up with this tank here. He obviously goes for the artillery shot here. It's not like the perfect artillery shot. And like, if I were at 4 health, theoretically, he could just move in with the battlecopter. But that would probably be a stupid move, because he'd probably not kill me, but he'd be leaving his battlecopter very exposed, because I could just move in like that and attack from here, and that would be out of range of his artillery anyways. So he takes out my 1 health infantry there, but we're basically even on it unit count for the time being. He gets a nice shot off with his tank from the city here. I believe that's decent luck for him. Yeah. 6 damage is basically what you want from an encounter like this. It's actually really good. It's better than what you can normally do with just standard firepower. Okay. So he moves in with his infantry as well. I don't know why he went for that shot as well. Like, yes, it's Flak and he has luck and stuff, but like, he might have been able to take out like another health or so, but like 4 health is a little bit too much for infantry to move into, I feel. So I'm actually winning very successfully up here. He's basically got nothing in the area to threaten me with. I get another anti-air here, so that can't really do much with his battlecopter as well. And really, battlecopters in mixed space like this aren't able to just threaten the entire map. They're good in this map for a very specific thing, I feel, which is like pushing into this, getting extra unit count to push into your opponent's base here, but like he isn't doing that really. He could have done something like, he could have attacked, well, yeah, he could have taken out my tank for sure, and then you would have, well, I don't know. But it would be a little bit better, I feel, than moving it down here. Like, he's sort of forcing me to build an anti-air, but like, I sort of want the anti-air anyways, just to deal with all the infantry down here as well. So, and then here I'm airport blocking him, and because he built artillery here, I'm able to just move in for free here with a tank. Of course, he didn't have enough money to build a tank, but a tank here would have been much better. This is why he should have either been interrupting my caps a little bit more, or been just making sure that I can't just move in and with my infantry and threaten him with it. So that's where you want to move in with the infantry. If he had been at full strength earlier, it would have probably been a bit better for him, but oh well. So he moves in here. That's a good attack as well, but like I'm still going to be able to do a good amount of damage with these two infantry here. The other thing is that right now, well, there we go. I've crossed the threshold into being able to get a power off. Oh, the other thing that I was doing with the anti-air was protecting my mech. Battlecopters are good against infantry. They're very good against infantry, so I wanted to make sure that I could preserve my mech, basically. So I do a couple of engagements here. This one I did, and this basically what I'm doing here is just taking any engagements that I feel like might be on a lower threshold if I pop my power. For example, this one, this guaranteed that I get before, and because I don't really need the firepower on it. So you can, if before popping your power is Flak, you can move in on the beacon units a lot of the time. But then I get pop my power here. This was, I think this is a pretty poor luck roll. Honestly, I was kind of expecting a little bit more. Although, honestly, it's good damage. It's good damage. I shouldn't be complaining. It's more than you would be doing with normal firepower. And then I move in against the artillery like this, both to stay out of her range, and mainly just to stay out of her range and do as much damage as I can here. Because I'm weakened, I'm doing a little bit less flak damage, so that's a thing as well. But this should be a pretty average roll. Like Andy would love to do 3 damage there with just his normal power. Like of course Andy would be at full health if he had used his normal power too, but I'm more so talking about I guess unenhanced firepower. And then this attack is, this one I think is also pretty good. It's basically just average, so that's fine. Moving into the city here, and this is a pretty good shot. Like, look at that. That's very good. This into this, basically perfect luck. Like, I was super thrilled about that. Normally, you'd only be doing like half damage to that guy, and I'm able to pick it off with the. Well, actually, I'm not able to pick it off with the infantry from the mountain, which is kind of funny, actually. Because look at that. Like, you'd think I'd be able to do at least something. It's fine. This was a very good roll as well. Like, look at that. That's beautiful. It's basically perfect luck there. And then here, I think I got a good amount of damage done. Like, it's good. And more importantly than anything else, I'm just happy that I didn't. Well, actually, I don't think. Once yeah, I'm just happy that I didn't lose the infantry there. Because it's an extra health of infantry, meaning that I'm at 3 health now, meaning that he can't really charge in with his 2 health there. And then I do this as well. I looked at the, I did have the calcs for all of these as well. I spent so much time in damage calculator before popping my power. This one is above average, let's say. So that's good. That was a good roll. I start running this. This will be capped in 4 turns. He doesn't go for the interrupt. This I move in my anti here because he can't really threaten anything with it, and I'm making sure to zone up his battlecopter as best as I can, and then I go for tank, infantry. So now it's his turn, and he goes ahead and does a counter pop. This one... This was a kind of low roll, although honestly it's like average damage. So that's average, and then he's able to pick it off with his infantry, obviously. Then he's able to do 3 damage here, which is good luck, actually. I feel like that's more of that's a good roll for him, because his tank is so weakened. Moves in against the infantry here. He basically takes it out, which, since it's in flames, that's something he would normally be able to do. Then the 3 health from this artillery, I feel, is kind of bad luck for him. Nah, it's average, Then he moves in with his other units as well. That's a really good roll for him, by the way. 2 damage on the anti-air. Like, it could be, like, normally infantry aren't going to be able to do shit against anti-air. So that's a really, really good roll for him. Of course, it's with extra luck, and because it might be overlapping with his tank attack as well. So I feel like it could have been a bit better of a roll, honestly. But I feel like that was a decent luck roll for him. Even though he didn't actually kill it. And then he attacks with that guy first instead of capping, so... I think that wasn't the best move, because now he's never going to get that cap. It's just not going to happen. Takes out my... Well, actually, he doesn't take out my infantry here. 7 and 4 into a full of infantry? I don't know about that. That's a bit questionable, even with the luck. Because luck damage is decreased with HP as well. So I'm able to just move in like that. Take this shot there and take out his artillery, basically for 3. That's the other thing about Flak is in Jugger and Lux Seals in general is they generally like direct units a lot more, because they keep their luck damage when they're counterattacking. That's why I didn't attack here, actually, because like, look at that. Wait, actually, swap. Like, he's basically... Like, look at that. He could do more damage to me than I could potentially do to him. Depending on how my luck goes. It's like, no, I'm just gonna wait here, build more tanks here, and just overwhelm him slowly. It's fine. I can do it like that. And then I move my anti-air down here. Mainly to try and bait his units down here, because I feel like I can overwhelm him if he decides to move down here. He takes out my tank, an artillery, and battlecopter, that's basically guaranteed. Takes out my anti-air as well, that's also basically guaranteed. He does this shot, which is... I think that's a decent attack, although honestly I feel like it could have been a bit better, considering Flak. Although... yeah, he should have been doing at least 5 damage here, so that's a bit of bad luck on his part, for him, actually. Not if it don't matter too much, but... so he goes for the mech here, actually. Not really guarding anything. Like, if you're gonna build a mech from a base, it should always be within 2 spaces of another one of your vehicles, basically, so that it's guarding it. That's not really happening here. But he is gonna be able to push with it a little bit, I guess. I take out that infantry, and then move in. I was trying to take out his tank here, but it didn't really end up working out. But luckily I didn't take any damage on my anti-air. And then I get the cap here and the cap here. I'm already at 20k. And I think the capture limit for this map is like 29 in the rule set. I actually joined cap here as well to guarantee this just in case he was able to break through my anti-air. Yeah, because theoretically he could get his power next turn. So I move in with my infantry around here. I'm gonna go for the medium tank here because he's got so many tanks in this area. I want to just use this to bring this down this way and start pushing, basically. I'm gonna get an artillery here as well, mainly because it's only all that I can afford, but also to like sort of try and push into his base up here. So he falls back with his tank. He's pushing down here. He's actually threatening my base with his arty now. And he gets a nice first strike off over here as well. But because I'm ahead in income right now, I can sort of afford that. And he can get his power now if he wants to, but he just opts to just save it for now, which is... I think it makes sense because he didn't have really many more attacks to go with. And he's behind on unit count for now. So I do get quite a few captures here. I'm already up to 23. Get a nice shot off here, and then I pop my brute force, and basically, I think this was questionable as to whether I should have popped it or not. But like, look at the difference. Only 1% on the lower half. So I just went for the power. That's an interesting quirk of Flak, is that his Flak damage didn't even like influence that at all. His bad luck didn't at all. I thought it was very interesting. Basically, yeah, I'm barely able to take out his artillery there, but I could have maybe done it with this guy, even though I sort of want to use him to cap and block this airport. I take him off of there, and then I reinforce with my other units as well. And then I move in and I actually attack the mech, because he can't really attack back from this city without moving off of the... from this city. He can attack from the mountain with the mech, which I think the mech was a pretty good move for him, because it'll be at 7 health next turn. Honestly, the attack there might have been a bit aggressive. But it'll end up being fine, I think. So there's that. He goes for the arty here, and he actually takes me off of my base here. The mech off of my base here, which is slightly irritating. He takes out my mech after it's finished capping here, and actually goes for a cap himself to recap that for me. Takes out his something there, gets a shot off his with tank onto the anti-air there, and it's... I don't know if it's like a bad luck roll. Yeah, it's a kind of bad luck roll. Because he took 2 damage from me in retaliation. That's not the best, but it is slowing my cap by 1 turn here, which is good for him. And it looks, he's mainly just saving up for his superpower at this point. Because it's funny. This should have probably killed, but whatever. That's very irritating as well, because I would have been able to just move down here and get a nice shot off on this tank, the medium tank, if he hadn't. But oh well. And then moving with the arty here to start putting pressure over here. Still have the anti-air in this area anyways. Which is, and I actually get a shot off on the battlecopter here, so it's basically neutered, and he's not going to get any more air units for the rest of this match anyway. Finally take out this tank, and then I have a battlecopter here because he's got nothing to do with it in the area. But I guarantee this cap as well, like this, he can't really do anything there, even if he moves up the tank. Like, I don't think, theoretically, he might be able to take it out. With the super. Oh yeah, he could, theoretically. And interrupt. But then I just move in with this later, so it would be very aggressive, honestly. So he gets a shot off there, pop his super, and then like he gets a lot of good use out of his super, honestly. Like this into this. Normally, well actually, yeah, it's like an extra point of damage over Andy's super, which I think gives him plus 10% firepower in addition to his normal plus 10. This is a very good This is a very good engagement for him, I gotta say. Like I was pissed when I saw that. Like, look at how much freaking damage he did there. What the hell? He moves in here. If he wanted to interrupt the cap, he should have moved in with the tank first, probably, but whatever. He suicides his infantry there for basically no reason. And then he gets a good shot off there as well. A decent shot off there. But I'm on my own city here, so I'm at full health here. So I just go ahead, get the caps up. I'm already up 25 funds. I only need 4 more properties to win at this point. I moved my 1 health HP medium tank here to heal, which honestly he should have just left it at 1 health. When I pop brute force after taking that engagement, wipe up as much of his units as I can and actually start capping his base here. Since this was at 5 health, I think this was fairly reliable. So yeah. Like at this point it's just a matter of time before I overwhelm them. Take this guy down to 5 health next turn, which isn't like the best, but it'll do. And then get a nice shot off over here with the tank. Well, it's a decent shot off, honestly. I was expecting a higher luck roll there, but whatever, it's fine. I got this cap basically guaranteed next turn anyways. So, yeah. He moves in and actually doesn't take out my medium tank with the first shot, but finally does it with the second one. Takes out my infantry there. Goes another tank. Anti-air here to deal with my battlecopter. And he actually moves in to surround my battlecopter, which is kind of funny. But I don't really need it. And he's also blocking my base with his battlecopter. So what do? I take out as many units as I can with the battlecopter, basically. Just whatever I can, because I can still do that. To sort of try and break out, but really just to thin out his numbers here, because he has so many freaking tanks. Like, he's got so many tanks here. Take out his tank there. Fall back with this tank to heal and actually lock off his tank as well here, so he can't advance here. And then I go for the medium tank here, because it's not going to take too much damage, hopefully, from his artillery. Like, it might take 4 and then gain like 2 back, so that'd be fine. And then I sort of starting to, and then I go for a battlecopter here as well, just for unit count mainly, but also just so I can start finally overwhelming him. Honestly, I feel like I won forever ago, but at this point he's just so desperately hanging on, and he's playing it out, which like I respect. It's fine. It makes sense. But he's not going to be able to win here. I would just have too much stuff, and I'm going to be able to overwhelm him. And like this turn, it'll be next turn too. I have these 2 caps guaranteed. I move in with my units around here. Actually, no, not quite taking him off of there, but like I move my tanks in against this tank actually, which is a bit aggressive. All I really needed to do was to put a tank fight here, or just move down my infantry a little bit, just so that he couldn't. If I had a unit here, is all I needed, but I moved in aggressively here anyways, and he just really science here. Yeah, I win next turn anyways by capture. So that's that. That was honestly, it was a fun match, but it was also a really stupid match. I don't really like the Flak versus Flak mirror matchup because it ends up being a lot more dependent on luck than you might hope. But honestly, I feel like overall the main reason I won was because I built that early anti-air up here and then just started pushing from this base. And then I mainly did just infantry from the other ones. And he wasn't able to deal with that correctly. So mainly just positioning was dealing with this early on was his main issue. Oh, also I think the artillery build here wasn't the best opening. I think he should have definitely built it here if he was going to do that. But yeah, that's it for today's match report, battle report, whatever. Next time will be my match on 1v1 Stalingrad. This is a very standard Global League Fog, and Stalingrad is like his bread and butter type match. So this would be more of a normal match, normal Global League match, tier 1 with no, but like no could be interesting actually, but like nah. But anyways, I will see you guys as soon as I'm done with that match. So I'm out until then. Bye.